YouTube? Now One Always J is back in the building with y'all. So right now, like, I got shoulder pads on. Nah, I have my motorcycle jacket on. So y'all know what that means. We're about to get right into a quick little ride this evening on this beautiful Sunday. And we basically gonna go what my experience has been for as having my bike for the first 24 hours. And we're gonna also get into how hard was it to find a bike, get my insurance, how much did the bike cost, etc. And I'm pretty much gonna tap y'all in and let y'all know how it is having this pretty little baby back here. I'm still thinking of a name for this bike. I don't know yet, it's to be determined still, but y'all put in the comment section what's a good name for her. She's red, she's a 500cc bike, you know, but I don't get too much into it. We'll talk on the ride and we'll figure it out together, y'all. Now One Always J will be back with y'all in just one moment. All right, YouTube, we are back now. We are officially back on the bike. Feels good, feels great. I tried to connect to the app, y'all, but I'm not sure why it didn't work, but that's okay. We'll get it figured out on the ride, or once we find a good stopping point. But yeah, y'all, it's a nice Sunday evening. I ain't got no complaints. At all, honestly. But yeah, y'all, back to what I was saying though. So I'm gonna let y'all in how's my first 24 hours having this bike so far. And what has it been like riding in Spain too, cause those are very, very important questions, y'all. So pretty much my time owning this bike has been great so far, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It has been like a unrealistic dream, if you will. The best part about it is like the sense of freedom you get. The sense of freedom you get while riding, man. That's one thing I did miss the most. But enough about that, and let's get down to the actual nitty-gritty. So since I bought this bike in Spain, y'all, the hardest part I will say was finding the correct bike here in Spain. And not just that, but finding a reliable bike that was, I guess you say, trustworthy, or not beat in, or not beat up, you know. That was very, very hard for me to find. Or finding people, and not even just me finding a bike, y'all, but just finding somebody trustworthy enough to buy the bike from. Because, and this is just my experience, and not all people are like this, but from my experience here in Spain, hold on, y'all, give me 1 second, and let me get to where I'm going. But like I was saying though, so not even just finding a bike was hard, but finding the bike that was right for me, you know, or finding somebody where it felt right buying it. Because I don't know if you ever had that feeling before where you're about to buy something and it just feels fishy, or it doesn't seem right. And that's what my big issue was here in Spain, was finding the bike that felt right, that also looked good, but actually performed correctly. Because I met with 3 or 4 I met with 3 or 4 people, and they wanted to sell me some junk. And there's no knock against the people who are selling it, you know. They got a product and they're trying to get rid of it, which I understand. But it was also a hindrance because it felt like they were always trying to sell me some junk, you know, or trying to get over with me because I was American. Now, it may not have nothing to do with me being American, y'all, but that's just my experience, me personally. So once I finally did find the right bike and it felt right and everything was good and cordial, then I felt very, very comfortable purchasing, you know. So for people who decide to come here to Spain and want to buy a used bike or want to buy a bike from a dealership, just be careful that they're not trying to get over on you. It's what I'm really trying to say. So that's how I ended up getting this DS500 right here, pretty much because it felt comfortable. The guy who was selling it wasn't trying to get over on me. He was very honest about it. So I have no complaints. Now that part's over with, y'all, let's go ahead and get into talking about the insurance. Now, for my American people, you have about 2 or 3 options here for insurance in Spain for your motorcycle. What I personally opted out and got, I went with USAA because I felt it was just the right choice for me. And then I already had USA insurance on my American bike back in America. Now, I will tell you this. Overseas USAA insurance is different than American stateside insurance. And that is a fact. I'll bring up these major details because when you go to insure your bike here in Spain, you need to be contacting the office. I believe it's either in London or Scotland. So I'm just letting y'all know for purposes for y'all, and we all decide to come here in Spain, and then y'all having a hard time registering your bike. And that's the reason why, because it is a difference between American USA and actual Europe USA. Because you have an overseas plan with one of them, which is the one that's in Europe, and then you also have the American one, which is just stateside. So I do want to let y'all know that, because that is one thing I did have trouble distinguishing when I came here, because when you think about USA, think about, oh, it's USA, so they can just cover you anywhere. They can cover you anywhere, but it is 2 different lines. So if y'all don't take anything else from what I'm telling y'all now, look into USA overseas, which I think is either in Scotland or London at their main office. And then also look into the Spanish insurance dealerships here too, y'all. They have one right outside of base. They have Geico, but it's not the American Geico. So it is, yes, the name brand insurance is under Geico, but it's like partnering out in company through like a third-party Spanish side of Geico, if that makes sense. So I'm telling y'all that. So hopefully when you come here, your process is a lot easier registering a bike than what it was for me. So registering as far as insurance goes. But overall, it was not a bad process, but you just have to be patient. Because don't forget, you are in another country, and your American way is not always the right way, if that makes sense. So just be mindful of that, y'all. But my insurance right now costs me about $75 a month, which is kind of high, and I'm gonna tell y'all why it's high. Because I had a speeding ticket in Virginia before I came to Spain. That's just me being honest. Some of the rates could be lower than that, or it could be more than that based on your driving history. So just be mindful of that as well. And another good hint too,
For people who are insuring their bike or vehicle through USAA, they also have renter's insurance. So that's just another little piece of advice or some game for y'all if people are trying to come out here to Rota, Spain, or just trying to come to Spain in general, and for civilians too. So, like I said, y'all just be careful with who you're buying your bike from for sure, and also be very mindful. Be very mindful of what kind of bike you're buying. I will say one thing too. One thing that you should also think about as well, y'all. About here in Spain. Look up the driving here in Spain. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, Spain is probably, and this is not against them and their culture or nothing like that, but Spain, as far as driving goes, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's not super dangerous here to drive a bike, but you do have to be very cautious because the Spanish way of life is very like leisurely, very relaxed, very calm, which is good, but sometimes you see those manners when driving. And when you're driving a bike and somebody pulls out in front of you, going super slow, it can be very dangerous here. So I will say that. Be very mindful. Be very mindful, y'all, of how they drive here in Spain. Just for your own safety. But other than that, y'all, I will say having a bike here in Spain is beautiful. I have no complaints at all, man. Like I said in the last video, I'm just very thankful that I'm able to share this experience with y'all. For people who want to know where where I'm at currently right now I'm in Costa Biana, just outside of Rota, Spain. It's a little beach town slash vacation spot. They have a very nice golf course here. If it's somewhere where you want to bring your family and your kids so y'all can relax, you should definitely do so. Or not even just your kids, but your wife, your significant other. I've been here a few times myself, and not on the bike though. Not on the bike, but I came here on my personal time to come get a nice little massage. They have Arabian bathhouse here, and this is me just blabbering on, y'all. I'm letting y'all know this stuff because I think it's important. If I was coming to Spain and I was interested in bikes, or not even just interested in bikes, but just interested in Spain in general, and didn't know a lot about it, I want somebody to make a video about it to kind of help inform me of what I'm getting into. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here, y'all. So the main three takes away from today is my first 24 hours having this bike honestly has been great, and I love it to death. I haven't had any real major things, real major events that have happened since I had this bike. But like I said, the one thing I will say is definitely be careful when you're riding here in Spain, because like I said, I haven't had near miss accidents or nothing like that, but I have had, like, you know, just the people in the cars not paying attention as much as they should, in my opinion. But it is sort of a very safe place to have a bike or a scooter or a moped, and it's very bike friendly here. The style of bike I have is very common here, which is a good thing because it won't be hard to find parts or take it to a Vogue dealership. So for people who do want to bring a bike, the type of bike you bring here doesn't matter. But I do want to reiterate, y'all. Don't forget, if you haven't had your license, for more than 2 years, or 2 years minimum, hold on, let me say this, because people aren't listening. 2 years minimum, then you cannot, and I mean you cannot get a bike above 500 cc's. If you get pulled over here in Spain with a bike that's higher than the cc that you're allowed, you will get in trouble. And this is just from what I've heard from locals and then the security officers on base and stuff like that. If you get pulled over at a stop and they ask to see your license, and yeah, you may be legal to ride or have a bike here, but if it is more than the allotted cc that you're supposed to have, you can get in trouble. So I just want to let y'all know that. But yeah, y'all, we right here by the beach. I don't know if y'all can see that pretty sky right there, but literally the beach is on the other side of those buildings and palm trees. Yeah, y'all, it's a beautiful night. I have no complaints at all. But yeah, y'all don't forget, your insurance matters here in Spain. Your license matters here in Spain. Because I know in America, as long as you pass your basic rider course, and advanced rider course, you get whatever bike you want, honestly. But in Spain, it is not like that. I just don't want people thinking under the realization of, oh, I can do whatever I want here in Spain. I mean, you can, but under the rules and regulations, though. But I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. I appreciate y'all for listening to me and joining me on this ride today. And now when Already J is out, I hope I've encouraged and inspired more people to pursue their dreams and aspirations in life, whether it's getting a bike or starting a YouTube channel or anything of that nature. Or even, hey, starting that college class you've been putting off for a while, you know. All I'm saying is, it's all possible as long as you believe in it. But y'all be safe. Hope y'all family safe. Now when Already J is out, y'all. Much love. Peace.